The Pro Wrestling Report is back with a huge July edition here on the eve of WWE Battleground. Tonight we bring you all the latest from WWE, TNA, and Ring of Honor, along with Be the Booker for tomorrow's special event. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a full hour of the longest running wrestling talk show in the world right here, right now on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report, PrimeTime TV, the longest running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, prime time Saturday night, right here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the alleged backyard, one-time knockout, straight-edge, hardcore, goat-faced Hall of Famer Hero.
That's it?
That's all I got this week.
That's all you got.
We got a stacked show. I don't want
to
take up too much time with your introduction.
It's a huge stacked show. We got a lot to do today.
Yes, that we do. And folks, with that in mind, let's get right to this week's WWE report. And let's go back to Raw from this past Monday night and a big NXT Diva invasion. We've heard of some of these names in NXT for quite a while, and now they are on the big show, if you will. Not literally on the big show, but figuratively on the big show. WWE Raw.
And one of them is an addition on Team Super Friends, Sasha Banks.
That was a good choice. And, you know, we will have a draft update here later on tonight going into Be the Booker. I'm not sure you want to hear the score because you're a little behind.
Is this Florida all over again?
There are no hanging or swinging Chads. There's one swinging Chad.
Who's Chad?
Well, it's
you know, when you
Florida,
said hanging and swinging, I'm thinking with today's climate of issues, that may not have been the appropriate things to say in Florida. It's Dixielandish, kind of. 3 divas coming in at the hands of Stephanie McMahon to join Paige. They are, as David mentioned a moment ago, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, the daughter of Ric Flair, and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, I believe Sasha Banks, the current NXT Ladies Champion. And all 3, I mean, the reaction that they got from the audience was amazing.
And that, my friend, is the question. And we've talked about this on recent episodes of this program. NXT is but NXT is more mainstream than I think it should be, because those fans did react incredibly favorably to these divas being brought up to the main roster. Now, it should be noted that NXT is available on the WWE Network. NXT is very heavily promoted by WWE, Kevin Owens, NXT, and a lot of smart fans, if you will, get excited over the fact that their underground stars, which some would call NXT stars, that get called up and get their big moment on Raw. Was it that, or was it more? Was it actual excitement that something of note is happening within the Divas division?
Absolutely, because the fans want us. I mean, let's face it. As much as we love our Natty Neiharts, our Naomis, our Camerons,
and your Alicia Foxes.
Well, she's A+. I mean, she's fantastic. She's always on the top of the list. But
is she a Bella Twin now? From another mother?
She's the suntanned Bella Twin. It's just that, you know, we get tired of seeing the same matches over and over again, and the fans have wanted new talent, a new infusion of divas, and that's exactly what we're getting. We're getting the 3 brightest young stars from NXT being brought up, along with Paige. And
who also came from NXT.
And what's amazing is, and I've said this before, and I will continue to say it, Paige is the future of Divas Wrestling.
I'm sorry?
She's that good.
Really?
Yes. I mean,
what's so good about her?
You know what? She just has that it factor about her. She has charisma. She is fun. She's funny. She's got a great look. And she's always wanted to be a pro wrestler. So she has that drive inside of her to be the best she has. I think she will have a better career when it's all said and done. And usually there's a lot more said than what's done. But I honestly believe that Paige will have a better diva career than Lita and or Trish Stratus.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, in a completely different era as well.
Absolutely.
Now, here is also something worth discussing. They brought up these 3 at once, these 3 NXT divas at once to Raw. More of a splash, obviously, made by that choice to do that, but is that a better strategy than the one-offs, if you will, that have been coming up as of late?
And what they're doing is, let's not forget, they are building their talents around the network. So if you didn't know who these 3 were, and they're from NXT, and you like what you see, well, now you might want to get a subscription and check out the network. They're building it. That network is their business plan. It is their model. It's not so. They need live events to pay the bills, but the network is how they're going to build and grow and mature their talent.
Well put. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, specifically each, obviously Sasha Banks on Team Super Friends, but Charlotte and Becky Lynch, your thoughts on those two divas?
I think Becky Lynch is the underdog. I think she might have the best career of the three. It's going to be, Charlotte's great. She's got the look, she's got the charisma, but...
She was built for the business,
right,
bred for the business, if you will, as Stephanie said.
She will always be Ric Flair's daughter. And how many true...
Is Bo Dallas always... Whose son is he? IRS's or?
But no one acknowledges that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
With the exception of Randy Orton and The Rock, as far as second-generation stars, the others have been okay. They haven't been great. I mean, you know, Cody Rhodes, has been good.
He's been great.
Goldust might be the exception. I will say this about your boy Cody. His promo on Monday night, fantastic.
Stardust, you mean?
I believe in the Stardust character because he believes he's Stardust.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, one more time?
I was watching him cut that promo.
Yes?
It was so good.
So now you here on July 18, 2015 are realizing what I realized some 3-4 years ago, how great, G-R-E-A-T, how great young Cody Rhodes is.
I will never say Cody Rhodes is great. I will say Stardust.
You remember what you said on ESPN Radio a few years back about Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, I said
you remember that?
Sucks.
You did say that.
But I will
First time anyone ever said a wrestler sucks on this program.
I will say this. Stardust is fantastic.
Well, Stardust did return this past Monday night as Stardust. Some people expected him to be Cody Rhodes to, I guess, sort of play off the unfortunate situation with his father's passing. But more importantly than that is he beat Neville, the rising star, another NXT call-up.
Neville, yes. And they're going with a youth movement on Monday Night Raw right now.
Stardust recently gave an interview, or I'm sorry, recently on Twitter explained to a lot of the naysayers about him coming back as Stardust and not paying tribute to his father, if you will, being Cody Rhodes. And some interesting things were revealed by Cody/Stardust, which is at one point Dusty Rhodes on his tights had the word Stardust written. Yeah. When Cody was a referee for Dusty once, he was called Stardust. And then Ric Flair went on to say, and I think it was a recent podcast, that the plane that Dusty used to fly on in the NWA was also called Stardust. So it's more of a tribute to his father being Stardust than Cody Rhodes.
For me, here's the thing. Some of the fans are really stupid. They're ignorant. Because if they would have watched the Dusty Rhodes tributes on the network, they would have seen how many references to the word, term, gimmick of Stardust. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that until I watched it all. And it's like that's when all the dots got connected.
Were the I's dotted?
No, because it was capital.
With the T's crossed.
Yes.
A huge, tremendous matchup. Rusev versus Cesaro versus Owens this past Monday night on Raw. Three great guys, and that suplex, the triple suplex, absolutely amazing. Rusev would win and get a shot at Cena, he would then beat via disqualification for the United States Championship.
I'm not a big fan of three-ways, but that may have been the best three-way I've seen in a long time. It was three guys out there that just beat them. They beat each other up. There was no baby face to get the sympathy for. It was three guys that were just fighting, and I thought that was solid. In the way Kevin Owens powdered off as the cowardly heel, only to come back and get involved in the match with Cena and Rusev. But Rusev is back in the main event mix, and they're now elevating Cesaro as well with that one triple threat match for the U.S. title.
Yeah, but they handled Rusev's injury incredibly well because he didn't miss a beat. He didn't lose a step. No pun intended.
The entire time. Don't make fun of him.
He lost Lana.
You know, it's a touchy subject.
He lost Lana, but a lot of NXT talk, and we should also talk about the new NXT champion after Kevin Owens lost the title to Finn Balor over in the Beast from the East or Beast of the East special on the WWE Network from Japan. Of course I did. Brock Lesnar versus R-Truth. Why the hell wouldn't I? Versus Kofi Kingston, rather. Why wouldn't I?
I was at Six Flags. Ken Anderson defeated Al Snow for the GLCW title on the 4th of July.
America's Day of Independence.
But that never got as much pub as Finn Balor beating Kevin Owens. It's kind of frustrating.
Maybe you should switch to a yellow color scheme.
You think so? You think yellow's better?
Well, it works for NXT.
I guess.
Finn Balor, absolutely fantastic, by the way, and one of the best entrances in the business. Not that matters, but that's
because that helps him get over a ton.
Absolutely.
But my question is, when he does get called up to Raw, will Vince McMahon give him a minute and 37 seconds to get to the ring with that entrance?
You have to. The entrance for him sets the stage for the amazing in-ring performance. Because let's be real, he looks a little bit like Jeff Hardy.
A little bit.
Or the Boogeyman.
Well,
the WWE version of the Boogeyman.
Oh, okay.
Not the one under your desk.
I just don't know if that is going to, if they're going to give him that much time for an entrance.
Well, we'll see what happens, folks, and so much more to talk about here on this edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime. And, you know, there was a Diva Takeover this past Monday night on Raw, and we've got our own little Diva Takeover happening here tonight.
We do.
Let's go to our brand new PWR correspondent here sitting in for Linda Kay this week, Amanda Raquel.
Coming up next on PWR Primetime, discussion on the major departures and huge returns in TNA wrestling, this month's DWHS, hot news, and be the booker for tomorrow's WWE Battleground pay-per-view. Primetime returns in just a few moments.
When you're diamond shopping, variety is important. At Robert Hack Diamonds, we'll show you multiple diamonds side by side underneath the microscope and show you what to look for when buying a diamond. GIA graduate gemologists are on staff for expert diamond grading. Robert Hack has affordable prices on all diamonds, including diamonds certified by the GIA. Need a mounting for your diamond? Our selection is huge. Buy your diamonds today at Robert Hack Diamonds or visit roberthackdiamonds.com.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night for July 18th, 2015 here on My24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside a fidgety David Hero.
My Front Row Mafia t-shirt?
I noticed it's a very busy shirt, and I can't read the words because you're wearing a sports coat over it.
Mafia. They are the super friends.
Mafia's been disbanded for about 20 minutes.
No, not the main event Mafia. It's the Front Row Mafia.
Oh,
they
Lucky
come to
Luciano.
all of the GLCW shows, front row, front and center.
So do they have like a season pass?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. I understand big news on a GLCW show, Blizzard Brawl later, and actually footage from a GLCW show last weekend coming up as well.
It's been an amazing last couple weeks of GLCW goodness.
Is that right?
Yeah. You'd be surprised if you'd show up once in a while.
Well, that's why I come to this show, because I learn about everything that happened last month.
You've kind of become like the Cowardly Lion. Ever since Abyss,
more like Tin Man.
You guys had your thing, you know, where you had you bent over through the ladder and whatnot.
I am not and will not subject myself to situations by which I may be damaged physically. I am the golden goose. You see this face, you see this body, you know, Lloyds of London would be very upset if they had to pay for this.
Well, nobody wants to pay for it. But here's the thing. I've been doing my best to take care of business while you've been gone.
Let's go to this week's TNA Impact Wrestling Report, ladies and gentlemen, and some big things happening over the last month in TNA. Some good, many more bad, unfortunately. Let's talk about the good and the confusing and the perplexing and the well-handled by TNA, which was the return of the King of the Mountain. Not the match at Slammiversary, but Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett back in TNA after leaving under the most auspicious of terms several years ago after he founded the company.
It's
huge surprise.
So weird. I mean, talking to the guys in TNA, they had no idea Jeff Jarrett was there on that live TV.
Right, which is rare for TNA to keep something a secret. Rare for any wrestling organization, more so TNA.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, all of a sudden, I'm talking to Al, and he's like, "You're not going to believe this." He goes, "Jeff Jarrett just walked by." He had no idea. He's an agent for the company.
Right.
Abyss, an agent for the company. Ken Anderson, all these guys had no idea. There's so much heat between TNA and Jeff Jarrett.
Well, let's give some history, if you will.
Oh, there's a lot of history.
Jeff Jarrett founded the company. Dixie tried to push him out. Jeff Jarrett then was seeing and married Kurt Angle's wife, Karen Jarrett, formerly Karen Angle, yes. And that, well, caused some issues. Dixie fired Jeff, the founder of the company, sent him home. Jeff Jarrett then completely gone from TNA.
Has a lawsuit against Dixie's
Oh, she did sue.
husband.
Serge.
For, I don't know the details on it.
Grabby grab?
Something. I don't know if that's what it was. So it's like, how do you bring this all back?
Well,
especially when he starts up his own company to try to almost be competition. It's just
Global Force Wrestling.
It's so I don't understand.
But two things happened. Jeff Jarrett, the return on Impact. Then Sunday at Slammiversary after that, it was the return to the King of the Mountain match, which was a good match, and then now also announced that Jeff Jarrett will be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame this year, which you refer to their Hall of Fame as a
potluck dinner, which it really is. But hold on, it's not. It's more of a picnic now because it's going to happen this summer, where usually it happens in the fall in October for Bound for Glory. So it's going to be like a barbecue.
Well, there may not be a Bound for Glory.
No, there probably won't be. But the amazing thing is that all this happened so fast. They are hot-shotting, bringing Jeff Jarrett wins King of the Mountain match.
Right. Which
takes that championship belt,
which they have introduced
as a Global Force Wrestling champion. He is pillaging what's left of TNA. He's already taken some of their talents.
And to that point, several big names gone from TNA Impact Wrestling, at least for the here and now. James Storm, a mainstay with the company since its inception, gone. Magnus, tremendous talent,
Mickey James,
gone. Taryn Terrell, another tremendous talent, gone. Austin Aries from Milwaukee, right here, gone. Gunner, gone. Sam Smith, Rhodes, Shepard. Sam Shepard, gone from TNA.
Sam Shepard. Samuel Shaw.
Who's Sam Shepard?
He's the guy from Fox.
That's Shepard Smith.
Same thing. It's a bunch of S's.
Here's what's interesting, though. Bully Ray back. He's the authority figure for TNA Impact Wrestling. He had some interesting things to say this past Wednesday.
Did you watch that?
I did.
You did?
I heard that, more importantly.
So hold on a second.
Paraphrase.
So Bully Ray comes down to the ring as the new director, the GM, the guy in charge of Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
Introduced by Dixie.
Who's sorry for everything,
Bully
but nothing.
Put Dixie through a table where she broke her back on television the last time we saw her. So she brings back the guy that broke her back, now in charge of the company. He then dresses her down in front of the entire audience and locker room, blaming her for all of the shortcomings of TNA Impact Wrestling. I don't think
buck stops here?
I don't think she realized that it was a shoot, not a worked promo that was written by writers.
You know, just remember this, folks. You can follow Dixie on Twitter at TNA Dixie. I always chuckle and cringe when they do that on their programming, because you don't see WWE saying follow Vince McMahon on Twitter.
I know that you have your shovel and you're throwing dirt on the company, but
no, they handle that themselves just fine.
It got worse. They bring back at the last set of TV tapings, Hernandez, Matt Morgan, a whole bunch of guys that were there from the beginning.
Yeah, Hernandez, one of my favorite talents in the history of TNA.
And
it's been on this program.
Hernandez was with Lucha Underground, tells TNA Impact Wrestling his contract is up, he can be a part of their show. They bring him back. They tape 4 or 5 weeks worth of TV with Hernandez as the newest member of the Beatdown Clan because Loki left the company.
And the Beatdown Clan prominently featured in each week of those tapings.
Every week, with MVP and Kenny King and Bobby Lashley all in this angle going on. Well, guess what? He was still under contract with Lucha Underground.
And they made a point to let TNA know that.
After everything is taped, so now they have to edit all of their TVs and remove Hernandez and the Beatdown Clan from everything, even after TNA offered to pay Lucha Underground money to air, and they said no. Who says no to free money? I mean, and let's face it, Hernandez...
They're protecting their brand.
Hold on. Hernandez is a great talent.
He is a super mix.
But it's not like he is John Cena or Randy Orton. It's not going to hurt either company if he airs on both. It might actually help.
But if you're Lucha Underground, wouldn't you want to hurt TNA?
And they did. I mean, can you imagine how frustrated... I mean, and whose fault is it?
Lucha Underground, though, that comes from a television production company, not a wrestling company. And that's a big difference there. Contracts matter.
I can't even blame Hernandez for all that.
Absolutely not.
I blame, again, the front office of TNA Impact Wrestling. Because they should have done their due diligence to make sure he wasn't still under contract.
They can't do due diligence to get FedExes out on time with paychecks.
Bro, bad.
Good news, though, out of TNA, and there is a new world champion in TNA.
How about that?
A man who still has not been beat. He's not been pinned. He's not submitted after over a year now, I believe it is. That being EC3.
Ethan Carter III, a guy when he was first signed as Dixie's nephew, I cringed. I thought, good God, this company is a failure. I did not see EC3 as a star. He owned that character. He turned it around, made himself into a main event guy, a believable guy.
He's a star.
He has the look, he has the charisma, and the work rate to be a top guy in this wrestling business.
TNA has scheduled tapings, ladies and gentlemen, for July 22nd through 30th at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. If you do the math on those tapings, folks, it takes them through September on Destination America.
Shocking.
Look at the archives of this show and find out why that might be significant.
And talking to the talents in TNA, they are not looking forward to 9 days straight. That's brutal.
Hope they get to use all that footage.
Here's the thing. Here's what's even better. The talent has to pay their own hotels.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. So 10 days in Orlando, you got to figure at...
In the height of summer?
At about $100 to $125 a night. You're looking at $1,300 in hotels with taxes and your food. You're looking at...
Well, if they go to the ale house, they'll be fine.
But if you figure they're going to spend at least $2,000 to $2,500
to make 5.
To not get paid on time. And let's not forget when Ron and Don Harris, who are now back in TNA, who were Jeff Jarrett's guys.
They're handling the production.
They went up to everyone at production and say, hey, just so you know, you're not going to get paid on time. If that's a problem, you guys can leave.
I'm sorry?
How does that happen? How does Jeff Jarrett's guys come in and have that kind of stroke in the company unless Jeff Jarrett is not coming back to run TNA?
You see what you did there?
Oh, I know.
That kind of stroke?
Yeah.
Here's what I think will happen, and it's probably very obvious, especially with all those departures from TNA as of late. GFW, TNA, Global Force Wrestling, TNA will work together, or if Jeff Jarrett is smart, and Jeff Jarrett is a brilliant man, by the way, he would take for Global Force Wrestling their TV tapings, which are happening in July, and air those after September on TNA Impact, in TNA Impact Wrestling's time slot on Destination America, a deal I think Destination America would be very, very happy with.
Here's how smart Jeff Jarrett is. Kevin Nash and I were in Waterloo, Iowa for a signing with the Waterloo Bucks minor league baseball team.
Okay.
He has an event there in September. Okay?
At the baseball park.
Yes. Jeff Jarrett says, I'll take care of Nash's flats to get for the free autographs.
His flats?
8x10s.
Okay.
He sent the pictures of Kevin Nash on a Global Force Wrestling flyer coming September 20th, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
He capitalizes on everything.
Yep. And there is no fault to be given to him for it.
No, of course not.
Because he is a promoter, and promoters do that. Well, we will be back with you again in August, and at that point, things may be a little more clear as to what's going on with TNA television on Destination America. Now, let's be clear as well as it pertains to that. As a wrestling fan, me, Damian Nelson, as a wrestling fan, him, David Hero, want TNA Impact Wrestling to succeed. We want TNA Impact Wrestling to stay on air. We want as much wrestling programming as there can be because it fuels competition and it makes the product better from everyone. But the writing is unfortunately on the wall, no matter what any of them say in TNA right now, and the real victims are the talents. So that is this week's TNA Report, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go now again to Amanda Raquel to find out what is coming up next.
Coming up next on PWR Primetime. This month's DWHS, hot news, and be the booker for tomorrow's WWE Battleground pay-per-view. Primetime returns in just a few moments.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company just wasn't helping me, so I said stop, and I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They put the green light on my case and got me $65,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
Hi everybody, this is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer, and you're watching Damon Nelson and David Hero on the Pro Wrestling Report.
WWE is full-on replace John Cena mode. Yes, that is right. The WWE is looking to find someone to step in and take John Cena's top spot, and it has not been easy. With Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose slotted in most TV main events, and their fan reaction is not as strong as originally hoped, the front office is looking to guys like Kevin Owens, Cesaro, and even Rusev to become a main event player to eventually take John Cena's spot. Keep in mind I said main event player, not top babyface. I think it's safe to say that Brock Lesnar is the top babyface at this time. The past several weeks, if not couple months, we keep seeing the same top matches on Raw and SmackDown. Reigns and Ambrose versus Rollins and Kane in some form or fashion. With an injury to Ryback and Ziggler again being stopped and started, the WWE needs someone, and John Cena is doing the casting calls with his open challenges every week. Boo him or cheer him, but at the end of the day, John Cena is still the man and the heartbeat of the WWE. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Thank you, David, for this week's DWHS. Some pointed things you had to say there, but very true things. John Cena is indeed being quietly yet loudly phased out.
He is. Slowly but surely, John Cena, I'm guessing WrestleMania in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, might be the end of the John Cena era.
Not the end of John Cena.
But no, I just think he'll then slowly go away and come back as a special attraction.
John Cena's been working. He's probably been one of the hardest, if not the hardest, men working in wrestling for the last 10 years. And few injuries. He probably should have had many more injuries than he actually had. Has not taken vacations when he's not been around. He's been doing movies or other things like that. John Cena commands and deserves a ton of respect. And he's 37, 38-ish at this point.
What better way to fill up 100,000 seats in Dallas than have a John Cena farewell match?
WrestleMania 8. Wasn't that billed as Hogan's last match? Was a double main event, Flair, Savage, Hogan,
8, I think so,
Sid, Hogan, Papa Shango. Who was Hogan against?
Sid.
Hogan, Sid, yeah. Papa Shango ran in.
came down, Warrior made the save.
I don't think they're going to bill WrestleMania 32 as John Cena's last match.
100,000 people. They got to fill that stadium. You got Taker and Sting, Cena with his gimmick, Rock will be there, and Brock. It'll be the biggest WrestleMania of all time.
We'll be there in a suite or two.
Yes.
Well, thank you for this week's DWHS, ladies and gentlemen. David Hero. Now let's go into this week's Ring of Honor Wrestling Report. Ring of Honor, of course, the show that preceded us here on My 24 Milwaukee tonight. Big shows announced for WrestleMania weekend in Dallas, Texas. Ring of Honor always part of the WrestleMania weekend festivities, and details on those shows right now at ROHWrestling.com. But big news story, as there is a brand new champion. Jay Lethal is the new Ring of Honor champion.
Jay Lethal is one of the most underused, underappreciated talents in pro wrestling.
Really? Even in ROH?
Yes, because it's on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was in Ring of Honor, the stuff he did with Ric Flair,
TNA,
was amazing.
The woo-off?
The woo-off. The stuff he did as the Macho Man was amazing. He's so talented, so good. He should be in WWE. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, he could be another member of the tag team.
Really? You're going to call him part of New Day?
No, I was going to say PrimeTime Players, but Mark Henry took that spot.
He did, didn't he? And, yeah, I mean, great for Jay. I hope that the success continues, and I hope it gets bigger and better for him.
Did he beat Jay Briscoe? Jay beat Jay?
Is there a Briscoe in the car? That's all I got to ask. You know what I mean? And it's just, you know, Jay Lethal, super great human being, phenomenal talent, and becoming the unified Ring of Honor TV and World Champion couldn't happen to a better guy.
Some are saying that NXT and WWE, while I don't believe this to be true, but I can understand the perception, some are saying that it is being done to put the Ring of Honors and the even TNAs of the world out of business. Do you agree with such sayings?
I don't think so, because WWE needs Ring of Honor and TNA because they can't sign everybody to a contract. So they will let certain guys go to other companies and just keep an eye on them to see how they grow, to see how they progress, to see if they get better. Because eventually, at the end of the day, everybody wants to go to WWE.
Right.
And even if it means, I've talked to some of the guys in TNA that said, hey, we want to get there so bad, we'll even go to NXT for a while. Yeah. And then work our way up there.
But is going to NXT a bad thing? If you're a Ring of Honor guy right now.
Here's why. Because you're going to get paid every 2 weeks. Okay? You're going to have top-of-the-line production. Mm-hmm. You're going to travel, and you're going to learn from some of the best people in the wrestling business. Mm-hmm. Right now, TNA doesn't have a finishing school to send talent to. WWE does.
Very true. Well, folks, that's this week's Ring of Honor Wrestling Report. And with that, let's go to this week's Diamond of the Ring, David Hero, who is the shining light in your eye.
I love this. This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring is the one, the only Stardust. I'm telling you.
Turn the corner.
I have
You've
watched
seen the light
promo a couple times, and it is believable. He has done something that I didn't think Cody Rhodes could have done, but as Stardust, he has a believable character, and I see money because it's that good. So this week's Robert Hack, Diamond to the Ring. The only place I go when I want to buy diamonds is the one, the only Stardust.
Excuse me while I gloat for just a moment.
You can gloat. Is he on Team Nelson?
I believe he is.
You don't even know he's on your team.
Well, my team handles my team.
I need updates.
That's going to be coming up in just a few moments.
Okay.
All right, so just calm down.
I'm going to be in St. Louis tomorrow. I want to know who I got to cheer louder for.
When do you leave for Battleground?
After this.
Are you taking a red-eye flight?
It's the whole trip is red. Yes.
Folks, with that, let's go to this week's Event Center. Amanda, take it away.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. ROH returns to Milwaukee with a huge show in November. Get all the details right now at papstheater.org. On Saturday, July 25th, GLCW presents Casablanca Rumble 5 at 5 p.m. featuring former WWE star Scotty 2 Hotty, Sadist, Melanie Cruz, and more. This show is free to the public. On Sunday, July 26th, meet Scotty 2 Hotty at Milwaukee Mighty Con at Serb Hall from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Blizzard Brawl 11 is on Saturday, December 5th at the Waukesha County Expo Center. This year's special meet and greet guest is former WWE diva Chyna. Get details on all of these events now at blizzardbrawl.com. GLCW would also like to thank all of you who came out to the show last weekend featuring TNA star Abyss. Things got a little crazy at the end of that show, so let's take a look at what happened and why David had to get involved.
And the ref is down. Nobody saw that coming. There. All right, we better listen to him. He looks angry and stuff. He is certainly a force to be reckoned with. Oh, snap. Will someone please give us another table? You know what that means, right? However, where was the ref? Folks, where? Can we wake the ref up? Does anybody have some no-dos? Does someone have that rock and roll chicken alarm clock? This is utterly ridiculous. Tony Scarpone has won. However, this is ridiculous. The abyss is not to be trifled with. He's using an Asherman fire department chair. Oh, that should sound real. This is all real. Hell. Oh, look. He wants to wake up finally. Oh, it's an NBA ref. Weirdo. That's crazy. Oh, wow, look. You're an Asherman. You're in a wrestling ring.
Just like the NBA, you get 25 strikes.
Well, folks, we have our winner, and it is come on, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, the Abyss has won. Hold on once here. We have ourselves a commissioner. Weird is way up. The champ has something to say.
Hey, I'm letting you have the mic, man.
Oh, what is going on here?
Hold on, Abyss. I'm Dave Hero of the Pro Wrestling Report, one of the owners of Great Lakes Championship Wrestling.
A fine man.
I don't like you. I saw what you did. Tony put you to the table first. Who saw Tony put to the table?
Well, thank you, Amanda, and thank you for that footage. GLCW, that was in...
that was in Ashepin. That was,
okay.
That was a week ago, Saturday night. Abyss, Tony Scarpone. Abyss thought he was being slick, like he's been for a while now.
Like the Doctor of Style?
Not that slick. But thank God I was there, because being, of course, one of the principal owners of Great Lakes Championship Wrestling and an executive here, I got that promotion. I talked to Jordan. We're cool. And, yeah, so I had to make sure that Scarpone didn't get screwed in the process. Made sure Abyss didn't win either.
You still haven't answered the question. Abyss wants you in a wrestling contest, and he wants it as soon as possible. He probably thought he was going to get his hands on you at that show.
And thank God Troy Dean was there, you know, my security staff. But you've seen, I'm still in a boot. It's been over 2 months in this boot with my foot.
Is it the boot I gave you?
No, that was a year ago. But I mean, for me, it's just even if I wanted to fight Abyss, I couldn't fight Abyss because I wouldn't get medical clearance for a wrestling match with my boot on. I still got 6 more weeks in this thing. So it's not going to happen at the Casa Rumble on Brady Street next weekend.
I heard about that a minute ago. Yeah, free show, by the way.
It's free, you know. And
I understand you can ride a camel there too.
Yes, yes you can. Emmett is a big fan of camels. He's a camel jockey, so he loves it.
Calapalooza, just a couple of weeks back as well. I understand there's some shenanigans there.
It was a hardcore match.
And we had some footage.
It was our dear, good, close personal and longtime super friend Al Snow. Hardcore match with the Mighty Abyss. And they had their Star Wars moment. They had chairs. They had tables. Armando Estrada was a special guest referee.
What's his name?
Armando Alejandro Estrada. And he got involved in shenanigans, which brought out Sadist, who gave him a huge spear that knocked him out. Another referee came down. Abyss wound up putting Al through a table. There's no referee. I felt it was in the...
What happened to the referee? You don't put refs in your matches?
Yeah, he got knocked out.
Got it.
We had 2 ref bumps in an Al Snow match. Go figure. And so I had to go down there. I was the last guy, and I didn't want to make a 3 count. So I went down there and I did 1,000, 2,000, and it was very, you know, I'm sore. I worked out earlier today.
In a boot.
In a boot, and things are going slowly, and I just couldn't count 3. That was my best friend. I'm not gonna let that piece of crap Abyss beat him at Cal's birthday party show, Calapalooza.
But I understand that you put Cal in the ring of fire.
No. Listen, my kid is a freaking rock star. He saw his dad was getting bullied by Abyss. You know, I'm in a boot, man. I mean,
I think that's the 18th time we've heard that this week.
It's been multiple foot surgeries, and you know, Abyss had me backed in the corner, and Cal, being the stud that he is, ran in from behind with a cheese grater, which was one of the props in the match, and he did some cheese grating on Abyss's lower extremities. And that helped Al get back up with the head. 1, 2, 3, and Abyss has lost twice now in the last couple weeks coming back to this area.
And Cal is off at summer camp, I understand. Has been for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he's you know, taking a little vacation. You know, he wanted to go out and hang out with his buddies and everything, and he's been fantastic.
But I've heard some rumblings. Abyss sent me a very, very weird message. It must have been yesterday, day before, about a delivery. He wanted to know what time we were taping this week and wanted to get something here during the taping so we can get it on air. I don't know what it is, but it has something to do with those 2 shows.
Why do you still talk with him?
I didn't talk with him. I said he sent me a text. I didn't acknowledge.
A text? So you guys are...
I haven't blocked him yet.
You guys are texting?
SMS.
Oh, okay. Well, you like what you like, but you saw what he did last time. I wouldn't mess with the dude. And you know what? It doesn't matter.
I'm messing with him. I'm being cordial.
Cal's at camp. Abyss can't get in here. We got new...
When's the last time you talked to Cal? I know there's no phones, no cell phone service up in Duluth.
Today's Saturday. I think it was Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, Thank you for that. Let's go into this week's hot news, ladies and gentlemen. Some quick hits on some late breaking news and some interesting news stories that are going on. Firstly, unfortunate news, as just a couple of days ago, we found out Kurt Angle, who had successful surgery recently on his neck, had some complications from that surgery and was rushed to the hospital. And as a result, had to have yet another surgery to remove fluid off of his spine. Kurt Angle now out for an undetermined amount of time. As we know, Kurt Angle, since his Olympic bout in 1994-6-2, has had problems with his neck, and we do wish him a speedy recovery for sure. Now, interestingly enough, it was on Impact this past week that he talked about this surgery and his time away, and it was that same day, basically, that this happened.
The amazing thing is Kurt Angle still goes 110 miles an hour in every match he's in.
He's a machine.
He
Look, folks,
need to.
You know, we've had the opportunity to be in some places that arguably maybe we shouldn't have been in, and one of those places was backstage after
Hey, we can't talk about that in here.
One of those places was backstage at a TNA pay-per-view, basically at the curtain, behind the curtain. Kurt Angle came back after an amazing match with, I believe, Jeff Hardy, and he's perfectly fine in the ring, looks great, total stud. He gets through that curtain, he literally collapses and can't walk. That's what Kurt Angle does for you all, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Kurt Angle does for us. He gives 110%, as David Hero said, in that ring, and does it no matter the toll it will take on his body. But by his own admission and by others' own admission, Kurt Angle might need to look at adjusting that a little bit going forward.
He needs to be a special attraction for TNA Impact Wrestling.
Yep. So best wishes to Kurt Angle. Also, big news on The Undertaker coming out as of the last few days here. We understand that The Undertaker is somewhere in or around St. Louis, Illinois, is some of the reports we've been hearing. St. Louis, Missouri, some of the reports we've been hearing, ladies and gentlemen. And as you know, that's where I have family, in East St. Louis, Illinois. Battleground, of course, happening there tomorrow night on pay-per-view, and SummerSlam is next, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? Much like how Sting was rumored to be in St. Louis.
Rumored by WWE to be in St. Louis.
I honestly believe Taker's here. I believe Taker's going to show up on the pay-per-view. Well, he's going to be in St. Louis for the They need to get more viewers for that network.
Yeah. Well, look at the fact that Brock Lesnar is wrestling on this Battleground secondary pay-per-view overall, and that tells you exactly what you just said.
It's all about the numbers.
It is, ladies and gentlemen, and big news as well. Wizard World coming to Chicago, actually Rosemont, north of Chicago, in August 20th through 23rd. The Undertaker, one of the many names that will be a part of Wizard World, signing on that weekend.
There. Paige is going to...
Daniel Bryan,
but Undertaker.
That's
Chicago.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge, folks. And that's this week's hot news. Let's take it back on over to Amanda Raquel with this week's draft update.
The PWR Fantasy Draft continues tomorrow at Battleground, but points were scored last month at Money in the Bank. The Nelson family took the lead again last month, scoring 350 points, and the Super Friends scored a very close 320 points. With last month's points, the Nelson family maintains the lead with 955 points to the 770 points of the Super Friends. We will see what tomorrow's Battleground brings for the teams. Speaking of Battleground, Be the Booker is coming up next on PrimeTime.
I gotta go out tonight. What should I wear? Crap. Oh my goodness. I don't think I haven't scored with this time yet. The old Super Friends. The old backup plan. Yep. Maybe make it a gun shirt. Oh, hey. Hi, I'm Kevin Nash. You're
Watching PWR on Milwaukee's 24. How do I look? Super, huh?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night. The winning Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero, and it is time, as you just saw, for Be the Booker. At 9:55.
But the thing is this:
770.
I've been short a guy or two since the inception.
You
Ever since
are,
Abyss,
in your mind,
Abyss
some
ruined
kind of
my draft. No, I'm not a.
You never got number 10.
I never got my number. I first got Kevin Owens, last month.
Yeah, whose fault is it you didn't get number 10?
I've missed 3 months of points.
Beat down, injured by C4 through C7. We're fused together as a result of that attack on me.
C4.
And you're worried about not having your number 10. I'm scarred for life, and you're worried about not having a number 10.
I'm selfish.
That's your problem.
I'm selfish.
Let's go to Be the Booker, ladies and gentlemen. WWE Battleground tomorrow night on pay-per-view. And let's start with the Primetime Players versus the New Day. This match for the Tag Team Championships of the World.
I think it's a great match to open up in St. Louis. The last time we were there was a lot of shenanigans in St. Louis. We went to Sweetie Pie's.
Actually in Ferguson.
But we were in St. Louis. We had a blast. I think this match is going to be.
You going to go to Sweetie Pie's tomorrow?
Absolutely. I plan on being there before.
Sunday.
Yes.
Go during church.
Yeah,
Don't
of
go
course.
after.
I know. Yeah, I'll be too busy. And I won't be. Yeah. I'm going to go with. I think the New Day needs to get back on track. I think that the shenanigans of the Freebird rule with them, where they have the third guy, helps them upend the Primetime Players.
But do the Primetime Players now have a third guy?
No, I don't think Mark.
Is that a one-off thing?
No, yeah.
It's what he do.
Absolutely, yeah. It's what he do.
The Intercontinental Championship on the line.
The tag. I mean, do you really care that much about the tag titles right now with New Day and Primetime Players?
I do.
Are you a Primetime Player guy or are you a New Day guy?
I am actually. If I had to pick a team, it would be the New Day.
Exactly, and they're the heels. So let's cheer for New Day. New Day rocks.
The King of the Ring, I guess the Kingdom is on the line as R-Truth goes up against Wade Barrett.
I do not want to see R-Truth become the King of the Ring. I don't want to see it. It would remind me of when Martin Lawrence had that movie where he was a king, or what, I forgot what it was called, where he worked at a fun theme park and wound up being king in a dream and came back from a river. But Wade Barrett with the bullhammer.
From a river?
So he fell in water or something. A Knight's Tale it was called.
Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Sheamus, Mr. Money in the Bank.
Against Randy Orton in his home city of St. Louis.
And last pay-per-view in St. Louis, Randy didn't appear.
No. He hasn't been at anything big in St. Louis in a while. He missed the 1000th Raw in St. Louis because he was suspended. He missed the Survivor Series. Randy Orton needs this win. He has been stuck in neutral for forever.
Oh, he's been RKO and all over the internet.
And Randy Orton needs the hometown victory. I like Randy Orton to beat Sheamus. Sheamus has the Money in the Bank. Even if he loses, it doesn't mean anything because he still has that gimmick to keep him as a #1 contender.
Kevin Owens, former NXT champion, goes up against John Cena for the United States Championship.
Interesting, because Owens is no longer the NXT champion. Why take the belt off of him if they're not going to use him more as a U.S. champion?
Use Owens more?
Yes.
Really?
Because right now it's 1-1. Here's the rubber match. It's at Battleground in St. Louis. Owens and Cena have been having amazing matches where they hit each other with every finish in the book and can't beat either one of them. I don't... Last month I said it was a no decision. This month I think, again, it's another no decision is how I would book it because you got to go one more match to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You got to get to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
How else do you get there unless they... I can see them both being knocked out. Neither one answers a 10 count.
KTFO?
It could be that. And then that would then set up a last man standing match at the SummerSlam in Brooklyn. If I'm booking it, that's what I do.
Brooklyn. Roman Reigns, the chosen one, versus Bray Wyatt. Roman got a little action on Bray Wyatt this past Monday night on Raw.
And Roman Reigns is at the ESPYs, walking the red carpet.
He is a star.
He is a
because
star.
he looks the part.
He's cosmetically perfect. And Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, I think it's an interesting. What's so funny about that? You don't like the word cosmetically?
No, you put that very well, actually.
He
Good
is.
job, David.
Yeah. So Roman Reigns,
must be on this big high because you got one over on Abyss, or 2 over in Abyss at your last shows.
I'm smarter than he is. It's just that simple.
Right.
Roman Reigns, he is not the darling. Bray Wyatt is the darling. The fans love Bray Wyatt. The girls and the kids love Roman Reigns. The dudes love Bray Wyatt, which I don't get. Maybe it's because more guys have beards now. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting match. It's going to be a fight. 2 guys going at it. It's going to be a lot of punches, a lot of kicks. I'm not going to see a lot of mat wrestling because both guys don't like each other.
This is set up to be a fight. You're absolutely right.
But I don't know who's going to win. I mean, if I have to book it, I book Bray Wyatt to beat Roman Reigns. Because sometimes the babyface needs to chase the heel.
Yes.
And by Bray Wyatt beating Reigns, now it's more of like the Rocky-ish comeback of Roman Reigns, where the fans might want to see him get over on Bray Wyatt.
Rocky 4 or Rocky 3?
Well, there's a new one called Creed.
Apollo Creed?
No, where Rocky trains Apollo Creed's kid.
Really?
Yeah.
They're making another Rocky movie?
Yeah.
Are you going to see Vacation?
Vacation?
The new Vacation.
No.
They're remaking National Lampoon's
of course
Vacation.
not. I saw Magic Mike 2 XXL.
You hung out with Magic Mike.
I did. Well, not like that, but we did have dinner together, and we did do the tour of the ballparks.
The WWE World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line, ladies and gentlemen, as Seth Rollins defends against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, who F5 Kane on the floor this past Monday night. Getting a lot of Brock on Raw lately.
A lot. And that tells me that Brock Lesnar can't just kill and crush Seth Rollins.
Let's not forget, Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar have had some great matches. Remember Seth Rollins' inclusion in that Royal Rumble matchup?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
This is going to be a great match.
But it's a singles match. It's one-on-one where it's going to be a lot of it's going to be Shawn Michaels versus Diesel, where Shawn Michaels or Seth Rollins creates all the motion around the ring, and it's just like Brock Lesnar catches and throws them all over the place. Rumors of Undertaker showing up in St. Louis.
Ah. He's got to have a reason to be there, right?
They have unfinished business. Brock Lesnar, Undertaker.
Oh, I can't believe you're sitting here finally saying that. I've been saying this for months, that their series, their unfinished business from UFC, and all of that has never been addressed or answered. Taker, Brock, Russ. Why would Taker have another match with Brock Lesnar? He barely survived the last one.
Because he's been training, he's in better shape. I don't want to see Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar, but if Taker gets involved somehow to screw Lesnar, that's the only way Seth Rollins can beat him. Seth Rollins is going to retain the championship. I'm not saying he's going to pin Brock Lesnar, but he's not going to lose the title at Battleground.
Real quick, and I don't disagree, would you compare Seth Rollins' title reign to Ric Flair's title reign back in the day, where he did everything he could to win every match he shouldn't have?
Absolutely, but he also cheat, and he'd win a lot of matches by disqualification.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, there's no doubt about
Great
that.
comparison. Well, it's Be the Booker, ladies and gentlemen, WWE Battleground tomorrow night.
And I'll be there in St. Louis.
Oh,
Amanda.
So a really big scary guy in a mask just handed me this in the hallway, and
what is
you have to play it right away.
Who has beta tapes?
Play it right away.
It was really scary.
Tape Liper. Who was he? Let's play it.
Yeah.
It looks important.
This big scary guy.
Big scary
wearing
dude.
a mask? Like who? Why would he be in a mask?
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm playing the tape. This could be the special package from Abyss. I don't know. What is on the tape? It's ready? Let's go to the tape, folks.
Are you sure? I'll be the Chicago Bulls. Hey! Get out of here. No! Hey, Cal. You're Dave's Hero's son, right? Yeah. You know, I want you to deliver a message to your dad for me. Because tonight, he cost me that match! You let your dad know. I'm coming for him. And when I do, he's done! 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 Hey, Cal, come on. Get out!
son of a bitch. I'm gonna get his ass.
Well, folks, understandably, David's a little upset. You know, I think this has gone too far with Abyss, and his psychological warfare, if you will, has just resulted in what we just saw. And you know, there is no reason. There's no reason to bring a person's child, a young child, into this story. So. Folks, we're back with you on the eve of SummerSlam next month. We appreciate you tuning in. We will be talking with you, along with you during Battleground tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens here with David and the monster Abyss, who has really revealed himself to be a true monster of a human being. Folks, we'll see you next month.